Hi there everyone, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. Today we're going to be making a shaped card, and I'll show you a couple of others that I made in the end using this same die set. This is the Insta-Snap dies. I didn't get a chance to play with it when it was first released, which was just last week, so I couldn't wait to dive into playing with it now. And like I said, I'm going to have 3 total cards that I share with or show you, and I'll show you how I make one of them. We're also going to be using the Picture This stamp set because it has just darling little sentiments and images. And then we're going to bring in our Simply Sentimental birthday because I want to make a birthday card, and because obviously those are staples in my life. And then we're going to use the Clean Cut Layers Circle Set B. This particular one works perfectly. You could skip this step, but I wanted that extra little detail. All right, so I'm going to pull in all the pieces that I die cut just to save a little bit of time, and we'll show you which pieces I die cut, or which dies I use to cut what pieces. And you can see an array of colors, just strips of paper. I'll show you where we're going to use those later on. Out of a white card panel, I die cut the main image. Then that's where the circle comes in for the clean cut layers. Then I used some black to cut out this piece. And then for both of those shutter pieces, I die cut out using some black. So we'll start assembling. I'm going to use some crafty glue friend to attach everything down. And then this circle, because I wanted that gray in the center between the 2 shutter pieces, which you could easily just die cut that out of some gray if you don't have a circle die that matches. But either snag some, because I feel like the circles and the squares and the rectangles are all just staple dies that I have on hand, or, you know, search through what you do have. I went ahead and die cut a bunch of pieces using various colors. It was like a black, dark gray, light gray, and white, using that one die that you see up there that has the 4 pieces. And I can mix and match however I want. I will have a bunch of extra pieces left over, and then I'll just keep those with my die. Now, I had the vision to do a retro camera. I know they don't make those little Fuji ones or whatever they are, the little cameras, to be like retro, but I decided I didn't care. That's the beauty of the creative world. And so I cut a 1/4-inch strips using some red, some orange, yellow, green, and blue. And I want these to be centered behind the shutters, so I'm going to use a little bit of mint tape up at the top just to kind of make sure that those are staying in place. And then I will put down the little piece to make it look like it has like a little bit of a glare, a little bit of light shining onto that. And then I am going to center up where I want that die, or the shutters, and then I'll glue those down right over the top of the colors. And then I can pull that back, and then I could just put some glue on the back of those and then stick that down where I want it. Obviously, I'll have plenty of extra sticking off on the front, or the top and the bottom, and we'll just let that kind of dry a little bit. While that's drying, we will assemble the other pieces, like your flash and where you'd see your little viewfinder, where you'd see through. And there's a couple different pieces for those. There's also a little clicker piece. I'm going to do some white for that because I want that to match the rest of the camera. And then I'm using dark gray for the center of the 2 other pieces and black for the outlines. And you will see on the other 2 cameras that I make that I switch it up. I'll use my reverse tweezers for these little pieces. I don't get that on very straight, but it's okay. Because I use liquid glue, I can kind of manipulate that a little bit and move it just a tiny bit. I'm already loving this though. And then we have this final piece, which is the square, like for where you'd look through your viewfinder. Trying to make sure that's good and straight as well. Then we'll glue that last little piece in there. And that does it for the assembly of the front of the card, the panel. So now I'm going to put this into my guillotine trimmer, and I'm going to trim it down. Scissors would work just fine because this is actually a little bit curved on that area. But I'm going to save those extra pieces. We're going to use those on the inside of the card. So to make the base of the card, I do need that piece again that I used for the front panel. We're going to trim down some 8.5 by 11 cardstock to 5.5 by 8.5. And then we're just going to fold that one in half. I'm going to use my Teflon folder, ergonomic folder, to make sure that's good and a crisp cut, fold. And then I will bring in that die. So that big die, I'm going to line that up, and then just make sure that you leave one little area where the die isn't covering, and that's where you're going to have your open, so that it will, your opening that is hinged together. All right, so here's where I'm going to add in the rest of those little rainbow pieces, and we're going to try and center that up. I'm using my glass mat to help me with that. But I just thought that was an extra fun little touch to do on there. Now, one of the things that I had originally been thinking, and I didn't do on any of these cards, I don't know why, was taking the shutter piece and actually having that be the inside of the card. So making that on a hinge. So I would take that one circle that I had from the Clean Cut Layers Circles set B, and then I would cut that like I did this camera front instead of doing it with the camera front. And then you could have that be, the shutter could just be a flap. And you could write a tiny message in there. I thought that would be pretty fun. I don't know why I didn't do it. I guess I'm telling you, I was like a squirrel all day today. We had some flooding in our basement. Happens pretty frequently. We live in a very old home. It's like 90 years old, almost 100 years old actually. So we do get a little bit of flooding down there on a regular basis whenever it rains. So I have been, like I said, a squirrel. Plus I'm working on trying to make bread. All the things today, I'm telling you. But just know that that was one of my thoughts. I thought would be a fun idea. And then the color combos that you could come up with these cameras. I just think there's so many options. And it's a camera. Like, it would be good for any occasion. Congratulations, birthday, thank you, just, new baby, any of it. Can you imagine? And then in the die, there's also like a little Polaroid that you could die cut out, which I think is fun. I didn't use that this time, but it'd be fun. So I did die cut out the I'm No Photographer, and I thought about doing it with the But I Can Picture Us Together. However, I changed my mind, and I just did the I'm No Photographer, and then I stamped the But I Can Picture Us Together, which is so cute. And then a few little hearts on the inside, and then I'm going to color those. It's the only coloring I do on any of these, which is surprising, but sometimes it's fun to just work with die cuts. And this one in particular just brought me back to my youth. I remember the very first camera I got. I would snap all these pictures and basically cut everybody's heads off. I have so many pictures of when I was a kid, when you couldn't look through and delete. You just had to wait and see what was going to come out when they were processed. And I had so many pictures of like, who was this? Because there's no head on it. Oh, goodness. Anyway. All right, so we attach that to our card base, and then we're putting the I'm No Photographer on the front. And then this is going to finish off this particular card. I do just love, love, love how it turned out. And I can't wait to make more of these and then actually use the shutter as an opening. So there's the card you just saw we made. I did make a pastel kind of rainbow-ish one as well. The possibilities are so endless. And then I just made a traditional black camera and used some fun embellishments, which I'll have all listed down below so that you can check those out, because there's a lot of fun new embellishments in the store. But if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to check out all that Trinity Stamps has going on over on their blog, Facebook page, and Instagram. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.